Hi everyone, it's Jeff from Mitosu Crafts. Thank you for joining me today and welcome to our channel. Today I'm hopping along with a global Stampin' video hop with the theme of easy blended technique. I'll be showing how to create a tritone background with ink blending brushes. I'll be using the floral gallery dies mainly for the word dies. And that comes as a bundle with the art gallery set, so I'll be stamping with the sentiment from there. I'll be recreating this card, stepping it up a little bit more. So this is my first sample. So ink blending on colored cardstock to create a tritone background. So for this one, I used Daffodil Delight cardstock and blended in Mango Melody as well as Basic Gray. I stepped it up with the next one. So this one using Flirty Flamingo cardstock, ink blended with Magenta Madness and Basic Gray. And as you can see, the text or the die cut is actually raised a little bit. And that was done by inserting another layer of die cuts within the card layer. The inks I'll be using are Memento, Basic Gray, and changing it up to Granny Apple Green. And I'll be ink blending on soft seafoam cardstock. The layer is smoky slate and the card base is a 10th fold in basic thick white. So I'm going to start off with blending Granny Apple Green, adding that onto the brush, the blending brush, and starting off on the edge in circular motion. And I'm gonna ink this up about a third of the card. I'm concentrating more towards the edge so it's a lot darker, and then blending it out as I get into the center of the cardstock. So moving on to the basic gray using a different brush, and I'll be doing the same on the soft seafoam cardstock. So starting off on the edge and then blending in basic gray about a third up on the card. So that is our tritone ink blended background done. So I'm just gonna create a card with this one and show you another sample which is stepped up in a different color. We're gonna use this die and I'm gonna place that quite close to the top, and we're gonna die cut that using the Cut and Emboss. You need to save all of your pieces. So put aside all of the die cut words as well as the offcuts. Now we're going to die cut a piece of foam adhesive sheets in the same die and run that through the Cut and Emboss machine. So now we're going to adhere the soft seafoam layer onto the smoky slate. So you can just add that using multi-purpose liquid glue. You can use sticky sheet for the back as well before die cutting, so then all of these pieces would stick okay, or add tear and tape before you run it through. And then I'm just going to stick that down straight onto the smoky slate layer, leaving a nice border around. Turn it over and just to make sure that it's adhered nicely. Once that's done, we're just gonna insert all of the in-between pieces from the die cut. And the way to do that is, if it's stuck onto the word, just add a bit of glue where it is, and then reinsert that back in and press that down. So hopefully when I pick this up, that stays in place. So just add a bit of glue, stick it back in, and press. The rest of the pieces have actually come out, so I'm just gonna add glue in between and then reinsert the pieces back in. So this way you know that when we lift those words up with the adhesive sheet, it's gonna have those shadows underneath as well. We're independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrators based in the UK, so if you live in the UK, France, Germany, Austria, or the Netherlands, you'll be able to purchase current Stampin' Up! Products from our online shop. Do use the current host code, which can be found on our website at mitosocrafts.com, to receive a handmade card from us the following month and any extra freebies if your order qualifies. I do want to add hints of gold onto the die cut as well. So the way that you can do that is die cut another piece. This is just another card, thick basic white. Reinsert that in. So all of those. And then I'm just going to use Tombow to add random areas with glue. You can just do lines as well if you want to. So it doesn't matter if you're gonna have too much glue. You will need a piece of either stamping sponges or dauber just to make the glue thinner and then dry quicker. So you will need to wait for the glue to dry and become transparent. So then the gilded leafings will then adhere onto there. So I'm gonna add gilded leafing now and just place that all over. Just trying to remember where you add the glue, but if you just place a lot more on, hopefully it'll catch on each areas that you have added glue. Now you can use another stamping sponge or just burnish it with your finger or another dry blending brush. So decanter all of the excess gilded leafing back into the pot and then peel out the die cut words from the template. Now we're gonna add the layers onto the card base. So just using multi-purpose liquid glue and then frame those layers centrally. Again, turn it the other way to ensure that the glue is spread out and that's stuck down. So we can now add our adhesive sheet onto the card front as well. So the way to do this, we're gonna peel these out. So you will need your take your pick tool as well as a tweezer for this. So what I'm doing is I'm pushing from the back and then just loosening that out. It will warp slightly, but that's why we have the die cut on the card base as well to help us out. So do that for the rest of the words, making sure that you take out the in-between pieces as you have that on the card front already. There we go. Of course, it would be easier if you just wanted it white, but because I wanted it the tritone color, as mentioned earlier, that's why I'm doing it this way. So if you just want it white, it'll be much easier. So adhere your basic white first on the adhesive sheet, die cut it, and then just stick it down, and it's fine. And you don't even have to die cut these. But to do it this way, you'll then need to take off the top layer of protective sheet, and then add your words on top. So this way, it's actually quite nice because it's the adhesive sheets are double-sided, so you don't have to glue all of those pieces or add glue to these pieces. So just get that down and then add it on the top. Just to add the final piece down here, we're just gonna stamp happy birthday on thick basic white in memento, and then die cut that with another die from the floral gallery dies set. So I'm going to run that through the cut and emboss machine, cut the end off, and with the offcuts in between the letters, you can use them as your adhesive foam for your sentiment as well. So that's the Tritone ink blending brushes background with gilded leafing for the die cut words. Here's another sample with balmy blue cardstock, Pacific Point, and basic gray. And this one was slightly harder. I learned from this one because I added the die cut words first and then added the gilded leafing afterwards, so it was harder to clean the edges. So I thought of a different way of adding the gilded leafing before adding it and mounting it onto the card front. I hope you enjoyed this tritone ink blending brushes background and create some yourselves. Check the description below for the next video in the Global Stampin' Video Hub, as well as the product links I've used today, which can be ordered from an online shop. Do hit that like button if you haven't done so already, and subscribe to our channel for more card making inspiration using Stampin' Up products. Thanks so much for joining me today. Until next time, bye!